Good afternoon, everybody. Car Biker here. Out on the Honda on a, well, believe it or not, a midsummer day. It doesn't feel like it. Feels really cold. On a lane, but it's not part of my lanes challenge because I'm not in East Yorkshire. Those who know the area will be able to tell because you don't get hills like those in East Yorkshire. A lot of rain over those hills at the minute. Bit disappointing if that carries on. I'm getting a bit of rain on my visor at the moment, so I want to get my drone up in a few minutes. I'm actually in the area of the North Pennines. I'm not sure if I'm technically in the North Pennines right now or not, or just nearby. But I'm out with Graham, who's behind me, and we are about 130 miles into our journey of the day. Not particularly successful 130 miles. It's taken us, if I exclude the short stop we had for a cup of coffee, we've come about 3 3/4 hours of being sat on the bikes to do 130 miles. And in order to go quicker, we use the major routes. Unfortunately for us, we picked some major routes where, to get to the major routes, there were lots of roadworks. Ooh, a helicopter. When we got onto the major routes, there was what seems to have been a major accident that's caused miles upon miles of tailbacks and sent us across country trying to get back onto track. And then we also had me doing my form of navigation, which meant we went wrong as well. But I think that only added 5 minutes, maybe 10, unlike the other things that added, well, a lot of time. Expected to be getting here after about 2 hours, not after 3 3/4 hours. But hey ho, as Graham said, it's all an adventure. It's almost like I'm some bad luck today though, which could be related to where we're going, although in theory it shouldn't be. Not yet anyway. Allow me to explain. There's a legend in these parts of a witch named Meg, who lived a very, very long time ago. And she had either, depend on which version of the legend you want to listen to, she either had a lot of daughters or she had a lot of lovers. And she gathered them and to dance with them and party. But unfortunately she made the mistake that when she did her dancing, on at least one occasion, she did it on the Sabbath. And by doing so, she angered a Scottish wizard who happened to be in the area. Why a Scottish wizard was here, he must have been gone for a long walk or something. But he angered a Scottish wizard. So the wizard cast a spell on the witch and all of her daughters stroke lovers who were dancing on the Sabbath. And the curse that he placed on them, the spell, the curse, however you want to call it, was to turn them to stone. And they've been there ever since in a field that we're going to now as a stone circle. Now it's actually a stone circle called Long Meg and her daughters, or I suppose you could say that the stone circle is the daughters, because Long Meg is actually a single stone that lies outside the circle, and is actually made of a different material as well. So the Long Meg herself is made of a stone that's fairly local. I think it's a sandstone, but I may be wrong on that. I think it's a red sandstone. Whereas the daughters are all made of granite, which is not from this area. So maybe genetics doesn't apply to witches, I don't know. But it's actually the second largest stone circle in England, the 6th largest in Europe. So it's a very big circle, lots of stones in it, 60 some stones, in a circle that's 100 metres across. So it really is a big old thing. And as I say, Long Meg, the single standing stone, is separate to that outside the circle. She's a bigger stone, taller, watching over her daughters dancing, I guess. And the Long Meg stone is actually carved as well with some very old Neolithic or Bronze Age carvings. So there's cut marks and circles and apparently some figures, but apparently the figures are very difficult to see, worn away over the years from weathering. So I thought I'd bring you along to see it. It's the kind of thing I like, and I'm hopeful anyway that Graham will like it as one up from a mound of earth. Little river again. In terms of the bad luck, along with the myth is the idea that the magic is still there, and that it means that it's impossible to count the number of stones that are in the circle. Or rather, it's impossible to count them accurately, so if you count them twice, apparently you always get a different answer. And the legend says that if someone were to come and count the full circle of stones twice and get the same number of stones each time, then they would actually affect the magic. They would either lift the curse and all of the stones would turn back into a witch and her daughters or lovers, or that person would be cursed with bad luck. Now, I'm not going to count them all twice because it's a long way around, but I wonder if I've got the bad luck already from the trip we've had this morning. There's also a myth that says that if you walk around the circle once counting the stones and then put your ear to Long Meg herself, that you can hear her talking. So who knows, maybe we'll give that a try. Anyway, we're nearly there. Hopefully the weather's going to be nice enough to me to let me get the drone up in the air and show you it. I've got to be careful because we are in an area where microlights are used, but it's not a restricted area, it's just an area where you've got to be careful and look around. So maybe Graham will give me a bit of a hand as a lookout for microlights, although I suspect there won't be many people flying the microlights today. It's cold on the ground, it's definitely going to be cold up there. Does it feel mystical yet? What it does feel is slimy under the tyres. And here we are, these are the first stones appearing. So I'm going to park up the bike and then I'll take you around the stones. Oh, the number of times I do that. So here we are at Long Meg and her daughters. Let's say the second biggest stone circle in England. The biggest one's Avebury. This is much bigger than Stonehenge, but of a different type. These are standing stones rather than a building really that Stonehenge used to be. You can see it goes for quite a distance. Obviously the camera is fairly wide angled, so that means that it looks a bit bigger than it really is from here. Let's have a walk around the stone circle.
Good mate.
There are a lot of stones, so if you're counting them, remember not to count them twice. It's a big one, that must be 10 feet tall. That's as far as I can reach. Quite a lot of them are not standing anymore, so these ones here have either fallen over or been knocked over. This is about the halfway point. Those trees are in the middle of the circle. There are arguments over what it really is. So nobody's absolutely certain, but some believe that this is a stone circle marking areas of burial. Others think that it was probably a meeting place for people, for markets, that kind of thing. I just find these places fascinating. I think the fact that nobody knows what it is, in some ways, actually adds to it. And let's truck off and have a look at Long Meg herself, just outside the circle. Stone's actually oriented to point to the 4 points of the compass. As I say, this one has some Neolithic markings on. So I don't know if the camera will pick these things out or not, to be honest. But there's a carved spiral there, and also another one down here. Somebody's got a drone up above me, I can hear it buzzing. They were right, I can't see any carved people. Apparently they are there, carved figures, but so weathered they're very hard to spot. Well, they're not wrong, I can't spot them. By far the tallest of the stones. When he turned her to stone, I wonder if he grew her as well, or if she actually started off this big. Those two over there are flying the drone, so I shall carry on walking around the circle, then get mine and wait for them to finish. Slightly strangely aligned, these ones. Unusual to have a single circle and then have some in parallel to each other. I have to say, from here I get the idea of the witch. I'm going to just come back in again because the camera can't see what I can see, but from this angle there's definitely something that could be seen as a nose and a mouth. What do you think? Anyway. So that was Long Meg and her daughters. As I say, the bad luck might have hit us first. We're actually over 2 hours behind schedule now, so the next part of the ride, which was a visit to 5 places, may end up just riding past 5 places, maybe with a 1 minute stop at each. But that'll be in the next video or two. So thanks for watching, everyone. Ride safe, and I'll talk to you all again soon. I'll be glad to get away from all these blooming flies. They are very, very annoying.